Mr. President, first of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. It's a big honor, and I would like to thank you for allocating time to make this happen. Mr. President, the Turkish Republic of North Cyprus is a unique diplomatic situation. What is the main path, the most pragmatic path for the Turkish Cypriots in terms of international engagement?
Well, we are part of the international community because we are, from our historical past, from our historical performance, and the fact that we are the continuation of the Ottomans on the island for more than 400 centuries now. 2071, it will be 500 years. We are probably older than Greek Cypriots on the island when you look at the historical roots and historical facts of the island. And we were the rulers of the island for more than 300 years. In fact, the island was transferred from Ottoman sovereignty to British sovereignty by the Lausanne Agreement in 1923. And the British were on the island for only 37 years as sovereigns. This is very important. From 1923 to 1960, and then British left the island. After 37 years, they got two sovereign bases, one in Limassol, one in Larnaca in the south, and they are now using these bases for their military purposes and for their other ambitions. Greek Cypriots, they usurped. They, in fact, I think, through very unethical and illegal way, they occupied the Republic of Cyprus, as it were, whereas the Republic of Cyprus was founded after 1960 when the British left by the two peoples on the island, two communities. Now we call two peoples, Turkish Cypriots, Greek Cypriots. Therefore, we are a basic sovereign element of the island of Cyprus, Turkish Cypriots. We have an inherent right of sovereignty. Therefore, as a different people on the island with sovereignty rights, the Turkish Cypriots deserve to have their own state, deserve to have their own sovereignty, deserve to have their own voice, flag, because we have different language, different culture, different religion, different historical facts and performances and successes on the island. Therefore, I believe very much that the international community has been very insistently treated the Turkish Cypriots very unfairly. They are suppressing us as if we are part of the Republic of Cyprus. We are not. Republic of Cyprus has been, since 1963, a Greek Cypriot republic, a Greek Cypriot state, and out of necessity, we established our own state. And in 1974, by the peace operation from Turkey, we are in the north, they are in the south, and the state in the north, out of necessity, is the Turkish Cypriot state, the name of which is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. All this that I have just outlined gives us the legal right and historical demonstration right that we are a different state. And when you are a state, it is an expression of our sovereignty rights, it's an expression of our independence, it's an expression of the Turkish Cypriot people to have their own future, to have a say in their own sovereignty and the right of self-determination, which is the right to govern our own future. This is very important. Every different people with historical sovereignty rights deserve to determine how the future will be. We obviously have expressed our desire to control, to govern our own future, self-determination right, through the announcement of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, our own state, which is an expression of our deliberation for independence, for governance, and for the, naturally, out of reciprocity. I am saying reciprocity because Greek Cypriots have got the Republic of Cyprus, the Greek Cypriot state in the south, and out of reciprocity, we have our own state, the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus in the north. Now, our own state is fully legal. Despite the fact that we have some problem with recognition, it's a fully legal state because we have our own people, the Turkish Cypriots. We have our own territory. We have our own boundaries. We have our own democracy with parliament and our own state, our own government, with all different faculties of any modern state. We have our own police, we have our own army, we have our own independent courts, we have our own government departments, ministries, in every kind of shape. We have ombudsman, we have attorney, we have any kind of state department. In any state, you would have it in the Turkish Republic of Cyprus with full democracy. We have elections, and we have good relationship with the Turkish world, with the Republic of Turkey, and we are fully recognized by the Republic of Turkey. We have formal relationship with a lot of agreements, and whatever you have in any kind of relationship with any country, we have with Turkey, and Turkey has recognized the Turkish Republic of Cyprus since 1983, which is very important that we have one state like Republic of Turkey recognized by the whole world, recognizing the Turkish Republic of Cyprus. This is very important because in United Nations resolutions, in one shape or another, if you want to define yourself as a legal state, it is important to demonstrate that it is one state which is recognized by the whole world, a member of the United Nations, does recognize you and has got formal relationships with you. In that case, the Turkish Republic of Cyprus is fully recognized by the Republic of Turkey, which satisfies that condition. Therefore, we have a legal state here. Nobody can challenge our legality. We are legal. Our problem is that we are not recognized yet by so many other countries. The reason for that is that, unfortunately, Greek Cypriots, our friends in the south, still claim that the Republic of Cyprus is the single sovereign state for the whole island, which is so unfair, because Republic of Cyprus does not belong wholly to the Greek Cypriots. Republic of Cyprus belongs to both Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots. But because they have thrown us out through force of arms in 1963, we had to, out of necessity, establish our own state. And that state, after so many years, is the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus.
You mentioned problems with recognition. Some argue that those problems, they do affect the development of the Northern Cyprus. What steps are being taken by your administration to increase the economic outreach of the country?
We have done a lot. We're very successful. We have got a lot of universities. We have got students from as many as 144 countries studying at our universities. We trade with more than 100 countries. We buy and sell, we import, we export to as many as, and from as many as 100 different countries, trade. And culturally, we are engaging and participating in cultural events in many countries, including dancing, singing, art, whatever you have in terms of cultural activities, we are there with our own flag, with Turkish Cypriots. We have our own different food. Okay, we are Turkish, and our gastronomy food does resemble Turkish food, but we have our own variety, as in Azerbaijan. You know, we are all Turkish family, but we have our own local different taste food, and likewise here, we have our own food, we have our own gastronomy, we have our own different cultural activities, because we've been here for centuries. And in these nearly 500 centuries, we have developed our own culture in a way. We are Turkish, but Turkish Cypriot. So we have done a lot to demonstrate to the world that Turkish Cypriots as a different people, as it were, with our own culture, we can perform to the world that we are Turkish Cypriots, and we are basically a different sovereignty, with different sovereignty to our Greek Cypriot neighbors in the south.
Talking about Azerbaijan, how would you assess the current state of affairs with Azerbaijan?
I think over the years we have improved our relationship because of these political problems. Azerbaijan, especially when Karabakh problem were continuing, had difficulty in getting in touch with the Turkish Cypriots. But after the Karabakh victory, now Azerbaijan President Mr. Ilham Aliyev and members of parliament are more comfortable with improving their relationship with the Turkish Cypriots. In fact, we have developed a lot of political relationship also. We now have parliamentary groups, members of parliament from Azerbaijan, members of parliament from our own parliament here in North Cyprus, cooperating in different activities. We call it parliamentary friendship group. We have even done that. So in time, I hope that we will improve our relationship with Azerbaijan, not only trade, not only students, not only tourism, cultural events, but also some political events. And I very much hope that one day we can have direct flights from Baku to Ercan airport here, and maybe we can have a consulate office opened here in the north from Azerbaijan. I just hope that over time these things will develop, because we are part of the Turkish race. We have common culture, we have common heritage, common history, and we care for each other. And I always say, in fact, one nation, three states, because we are all Turkish, but you have Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Turkish Cyprus. So one nation, three states.
Some efforts in the past, such as the AnewZ plan, they were aimed at reunification, and while is it not the main path anymore?
Well, I don't like the word reunification. Let's put it that way, because in fact, in Cyprus you've got two different states, as I've been telling you. One is in the north, one is in the south. You can maybe reach a political settlement in the island based on a two-state solution. A two-state solution would be that the Turkish Republic of North Cyprus, the state of the Turkish, would be part of this agreement. In other words, they have to accept the fact that Turkish Cypriots have a state, and let's somehow work out how we can do that. But if they say Turkish Cypriot state doesn't exist, and you will abolish, get rid of the Turkish Cypriot state, and come and join the Republic of Cyprus by an amendment to the constitution, that is not acceptable, because that would lead us to single sovereignty, single citizenship, single flag, and we will all be supposedly all Cypriots, which would be the end of the Turkish Cypriots, because in that kind of structure, the majority, because through historical events, especially during the British times, a lot of Greeks came to the island, but a lot of Ottomans left the island, back to Anatolia and other places. We have probably more Turkish Cypriots living in Turkey, probably more in the UK, and as many as 100,000 living in Australia. A lot of Turkish Cypriots left the island during those difficult times when there were a lot of attacks on Turkish Cypriots. And before 1974, we had thousands of our people lost, killed, and basically we went through very tough times, because the ambition of the Greek Cypriots was to unite the island with Greece, to declare enosis. During those times, a lot of Turkish Cypriots left the island. So the population numbers, I'm not so interested. What I'm saying is, we are Turkish Cypriots, we are a sovereign people on the island. They are Greek Cypriots, okay, they might also be sovereign, but we have had our own states for the last 6 years. In fact, our own state, the Turkish Cypriot state, was founded in this very room 61 years ago, a long time ago. So we have had our own state for 61 years. After 61 years, you cannot get rid of your own state. We have to be into an agreement, part of a settlement with our own state. That's why a two-state solution.
On the way to normalize relations, on the way to settlement, do you see any smaller scale cooperation projects between two communities?
Well, I'm always in favor of cooperation. We are cooperating, or we are trying to cooperate on criminal matters, on economic matters, on health matters. For example, I propose that we form a committee for earthquakes. I just hope that we don't have an earthquake, but when you look at the history, there have been some earthquakes around, so we have to be prepared in case there's an earthquake to help each other. And all sorts of technical committees like cultural heritage, because we got mosques in the south, there were churches in the north, so we have to be able to look after all of them. We've got cemeteries in the south, they've got in the north. So we have to be cooperating on all these matters. And I always encouraged cooperation on all these important issues for a better life, for a better future for all Cypriots, including crossing gates, because we have got 9 gates now, but the most busy is the one at Nicosia, Metehan. It's so busy that we need another gate at the other side of Nicosia. I've proposed, in fact, 2 gates, Haspolat and Akıncılar, but unfortunately Greek Cypriots are not helping, they are not responding, whereas if these 2 gates were opened up, this would help crossing points. This would help to, especially around Nicosia, for people to cross the border to the other side, and from the south to the north, not only for Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots, but also for other tourists coming to the island. Because we've got a number of tourists coming to the island who would like to travel to the north and the south for tourism purposes. But now we have congestion in Nicosia, but unfortunately the Greek Cypriots in the south, maybe the president and the others, somehow they don't want to encourage Greek Cypriots crossing the border to the north. That's how I feel, and I would like to challenge them on this. Because if you want to have good relationship between the south and the north, you should be able to open new gates to encourage crossings, not only for economic reasons and for social reasons, but also for political reasons. Because we are all in favor of a 2-state solution in Cyprus, especially we, the Turkish Cypriots, because we believe very much that if there is a solution on a 2-state solution, peace and stability on the island will continue. We have got peace and stability on the island since the 1974 Turkish intervention. It's been a long time, more than half a century, and we have got peace and stability. This is very important and very precious, because look at Gaza, look at Libya, look at Syria, look at Lebanon, look at Iraq. A lot of headaches, a lot of confrontation, a lot of instability, a lot of people got killed, a lot of upheavals, a lot of challenges, whereas in Cyprus we have got constant peace and stability since 1974 because of this Turkish intervention and because the Turkish army has been in the north as source of security. This is very important. So I would like a 2-state solution. If you don't have a 2-state solution and you try to reunify the island, that would only lead to chaos and further troubles in the future, which nobody wants.
There are growing energy projects in the Eastern Mediterranean. Do you believe that energy cooperation between 2 communities is also possible, or is it too politically sensitive?
No, we have got our own historical rights in these fields around the seas. They belong to the Turkish Cypriots. At least we own part of these fields. You got the Turkish Republic, the Turkey Republic, with her own interests around. So I think we should all be sitting around the table. This was proposed by President Erdogan of Turkey, that Turkish Republic of Turkey, Greece, Greek Cypriots, Turkish Cypriots should be sitting around the table to discuss how to share these resources. Unfortunately, Greek Cypriots continue to engage in activities with others, companies and other countries, only themselves, which is not right, because they are not the owners of all Cyprus. They are only one people of the 2 peoples. Turkish Cyprus also has a share. Turkish Cyprus has also a voting right. We also have, as a sovereign people, share in all these. Therefore, they should not be engaging in activities or in arrangement with other countries and other international companies without the consent of the Turkish Cypriots. We should be part of the agreement. But unfortunately, they are disregarding us completely, and they're going ahead with agreements with other countries and with other big international firms, which is unfair to the Turkish Cypriots. Where this will lead, I don't know. But one day, soon, I would like the international community to say this is not fair. Let's get you all around the table so that you can discuss the way forward, so that legally everybody has his or her right, because you're talking about big resources, billions of dollars, and we have to be fair to each other. This will only happen when the international community, when the others, United Nations and interested parties, get together so that a fair distribution of these resources happen. The other thing which is very important, whatever you do, you have to cross via Cyprus to go to Turkey and into the mainland Europe, because To transfer these resources directly to Europe is very expensive. It's a long journey, it's a long distance, and through the seas, it's very difficult. So it's best if you can, through pipes, via Cyprus to mainland Turkey. Mainland Turkey is already connected with the European Union and the European markets. And through Turkey, it will be a lot easier, it will be a lot cheaper, it will be a lot more feasible and sensible. So it's very important that we strike a balance here so that we can use the north of Cyprus for a pipeline to reach mainland Turkey, so that we can, via that, go to the heart of Europe.
Mr. President, you mentioned Turkish and Turkic world. How do you assess the role of the Turkic world on the backdrop of all the events happening across the globe?
Well, Turkey is one of the major countries around. President Erdogan is very powerful, and I just very much hope that Turkey will be successful in getting all the interest parties together so that we can have peace, security, and stability. Important thing is to be able to have peace, security, and stability. For all this to happen, you need a country like Turkey to have a say, to be influential, and under the leadership of President Erdogan, Turkey is successfully doing this. Turkey is a leading power, and with her own army potential and power to be, they are very successful. With regard to the Turkish world, I believe very much that the Turkish states together in the Türk Devletler Teşkilatı, as they call it, in the future, this promises a lot of economic success, a lot of political leverage, and a lot of cultural richness, because we have common history, we have common roots, we have common religion, we have language, cultural richnesses, and if we are all together, Turkish states, we can be, as Mr. President İlham Aliyev said after his presidential victory to the Azerbaijan Parliament, Azerbaijan Meclisi, İlham Aliyev said, we are a big